oil paints. And painting in this medium is very convenient. It's very forgiving. You know, it's like some religious practices. You know, you're forgiven, my son. Well, thanks. Well, oil paints are forgiving, meaning, well, you can start over and still move on. I love this stuff. Here's why. We already talked about thickness, thinness, you know, your glazing techniques we can do. There's all of these complementarities going back and forth, and one that's really, really cool is drying and extending your dance on the canvas. And I've developed a little system. It's like being an alchemist. I've ruined so many paintings, but after a while, it paid off. And when I put paint on a canvas in preparation, this is more prep. I haven't started really painting yet. I'm going to prepare my canvas. I want to work on it all day. Well, I'm going to use a bunch of mineral oil on it, and it'll never dry. I have some demonstrations from some other lessons. They're still wet as the day I did them. So if I want them to dry faster, well, I put a bunch of liquid in it. That's a little more, well, actually the mineral oil isn't toxic at all. You can drink this stuff if you're plugged up, apparently. And you don't want to drink the liquid, though. This is like airplane glue. It really brought back some weird memories. That's another story. But mineral oil, just get some mineral oil. So that's what I dilute with, and I use it for my viscosities and my velocities as I'm moving and how thick it is. But I also use it to retard or extend drying thresholds or windows. And you can get kind of precise with it when you mix around with it. You can also preserve your brushes with the mineral oil. If you're done and you're tired and you're using brushes, that I'm going to go into other segments about that. So when you're using other implements like brushes that need a lot of maintenance, you can saturate it with mineral oil and leave it for weeks and weeks. I have paintings that are still not dry because they have too much mineral oil in it, so you have to really watch it. So for demonstration or for practicing, and this is what's so great about it, you don't have to buy a bunch of canvas. What you do is you use a bunch of mineral oil. Now this thing's been around for a while, and it's as wet as the day I put it down. And I can keep mushing around with it, or I can just scrape it all off and start all over again. There's no liquid on here. It's wet as a water park. You know, it's wet. And it's great because I can use it again. Watch this. Look. It's still all wet, you know. So if you want to practice, use mineral oil. So what I would do is use a tacit amount of white on there. We'll get into that. But what I wanted to do first was repeat how I'm loading my brush, my knives. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into a wet-on-wet technique.